So I realized I haven't actually like introduced myself on TikTok. I do have um, videos on my YouTube, which is actually where I mainly have my content, just because I can have longer videos there. But pretty much, my name is Jessica. I have had gifts my whole life, ever since I was a child, and I've gone through some crazy stuff. And my dad was my biggest supporter. He also saw them as well, and he practiced with me and made sure my skills stayed sharp. And he taught me, rest in peace, Dad. He taught me how to use my abilities and that I wasn't crazy. And I feel like a lot of people feel crazy, but you're not, which is the crazy part about it, is you're not crazy. Anyways, I have experienced all kinds of stuff. I've gone up against demonic entities. I have faced many of them head on. I have had, and if they can't attack you in the physical, then they'll try to get you in the spiritual. So, like when you're sleeping, they'll send attacks through your dreams, all kinds of stuff. And I talk about, I want to start, because I would like to eventually write a book or find someone who wants to write a book about me. But I figured I might as well just start telling my story, because God put it on my heart over a year ago. And I've had people tell me, like, no, you're going to be on the internet. And here's the deal. Honestly, I prefer to not be noticed. It's very uncomfortable for me stepping out, knowing that there's going to be people who judge me. There's going to be people who call me liars. Well, here's the deal. My message isn't for those people. It's for the people who are curious and know that there is more out there, but they don't know where to go. Living in two worlds is hard. I have, like I said, I have seen things my whole life. I remember as a young teen, and I was communicating with a little Native American girl, and we would sit and play puzzles together. I would sit and I would put the puzzle piece on the table and be like, hey, if you're here, like, can you push it off? And, I would wait, and then it did. And I'm like, that I waited too long, let's do it again. And she would, and she got better and she got stronger, and I would capture pictures of her. And what's crazy too is, and maybe it's my throat chakra. Okay, so I did a reading earlier. Stink bug. If a stink bug is important, I don't know why, but clearly something I need to say is something you need to hear. Back to where I was. Oh, so yeah, I would have this little Native American girl spirit, and then when I got pregnant with my oldest, she disappeared. Poof. Gone. Vanished. I didn't hear from her again. No. I remember when my youngest son was having night terrors when he was just a baby. Something in me was like, nah, something ain't right. Something isn't right here. And so I waited, because it was like clockwork of him waking up with blood curdling screams. So I waited, and I was at the edge of my bed. And for those who know me, have been in my room, you know what I mean? Like, it was right there. It's a hop, skip, and a jump into the living room, because I wasn't sleeping when I had him in my room. Because all I wanted to do was stare at him. That's all I wanted to do. So I hear a scream, so I book it, right? And there is this dark shadow figure reaching into my son's crib, and I was like, you need to get the out of here now. And that thing sunk back into the floor. And I'm telling you, it's been a wild ride with this stuff. Ooh, I'm going to have to tell you about the false prophet that I met. Ooh, I'm telling you, I got stories and all kinds of stuff. Like, I love talking about this. It's where I feel the most happiest because I deal with such mundane 3D conversations and I can't do it. I need depth, I need substance. There are other people out here like me. And it is so nice to meet other ones. It's nice to help people tap into their gifts too, because here's the deal, we are all capable of this. You know, I'm not any more special than the next person. I want to teach people this is what you can do. There is a whole other way of living, a completely different way of life, and I can teach you how to do it. I'm just a vessel who is here to experience so many things so that I can reach more people and possibly just help somebody. Even with just something I say. Because here's the deal, I get down to the raw, raw, nitty truth. I'll tell you about my dark nights of the soul. I'll tell you how I don't know. Like, I was a complete disaster and felt my soul being ripped apart. Like, that's the stuff I want to talk about because that shaped me and formed me into who I am today. I am just rambling because being on camera makes me very uncomfortable. I know people are judgmental and say mean things, but God told me that I had to do this. He told me last year. There's other things I have to do too, and I've had people do readings on me and they've said, no, you're going to use different platforms. And honestly, I was just like, whatever. Like, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Like, no, that's not me. And, well, God stepped in and was like, hey, you remember that thing? You remember that thing? Yeah? He's like, yeah, it's time for you to start using your abilities. And I'm all, using my abilities? And he's like, but you're going to do it for a bigger population. I said, But no. Ah. It just clicked. I asked God that I wanted to be more comfortable in front of a camera. You know, thanks for answering, but this is not how this is not how I thought it was going to be. And like I said, that makes me very uncomfortable. So, but we are stepping out, we're doing new things because without being uncomfortable, there is no growth. I'm human. I have good days. I have bad days. There are days I can't pull myself up out of bed because ascension is happening. Coming out of the ashes. Like, I talk about just the real stuff, and you either love me or hate me. There is no in between. Anyways, thanks guys for listening, and we will get more in depth to some of the stuff that I have experienced. But we got this, guys. Have a great day.